Hi and welcome to another episode. What we've got here is my Amiga 1200 upside down, inside out, all that fun stuff. Now, there's a few upgrades, swapping around of doing things that I want to do. Maybe not really upgrades, maybe just a different way of doing it. Let's start off with the lower end of things. Basically, it's possible to put a RTC or real-time clock onto the Ice Drake accelerator card. As you can see, I've already got an RTC on the main board that I've had for donkey's years. I forgot to buy one, or couldn't buy one at the time when I bought the Ice Drake. I can't remember if it was I forgot they were out of stock, or I didn't think it was worthwhile because I've already got one. Blah blah blah. I wanted to buy another one directly from them, but because of DHL shipping and they don't want to stick things in an envelope and just do it normal post, it ended up being a daft amount of money. And let's be honest, post from Royal Mail through Europe internationally, whatever, has all been a bit of a mess over the Christmas period anyway. Blah blah blah. Not blaming, pointing fingers at anyone. Just they don't want to send it just in an envelope. They want to send it through DHL, so it's a tiny little parcel. Blah blah blah, which is fine. That's the way that they do it. So I bought mine from the Pi Hut for like £8, which is less than half the price or something silly than what it would be to get it directly from the makers of Ice Drake. Again, I'm not pointing fingers. It's just if you're here in the UK and you forgot to get one or couldn't get one, head over to Pi Hut and get one. So, RTC, this one does need to have drivers installed so it works, whereas that one doesn't. But I've got ideas for this at a later date, maybe. So I could do with having the whole of this port back, hence why the RTC. That's that one. Now, many people know that the PCMCIA has a reset problem. Basically, when you reset the Amiga, doing the control Amiga thing, it doesn't know that you've swapped out a PCMCIA sort of thing. Oh, is it no? Sorry, it's the other way around, isn't it? It's when you take a PCMCIA out and put a new one in, it might not know that you've put a new one in. So there's a fix for that. You get one of these things and stick it on top of the gal chip. But the problem is then you can't use your hard drive cage. Hence why I've not had mine on for a while, because for quite some time I used to have a whole setup over here with the compact flash. And then I went through to the, I used to have that. Then I upgraded to an M.2, daft amount of space. It's kind of nice to have that sat somewhere so it's not rattling around. But the problem is, I'd like to have the LED indicator flashing about on the Bifrost update, which I've got for the LEDs that would normally be in the top of the case. I've got the first version of that. That doesn't allow for that, but this version does, and it's a better version, blah, blah, blah. Well, I've got me this for Christmas, so I've had to buy an updated version of the PCMCIA fix, which has an LED bit out. You watch, it probably turns out there's some way of getting it from the Ice Drake thing, but in fact, that's the eyed LED. You watch, I bet there's a PCMCIA one hanging around somewhere, which I've forgotten about. Anyway, the point is, I need a fix on there. I need to take this cage out so that fits there, and I'm going to have to find a new place for this to live, because I do want this working again. Yeah, things to do. Anyways, so let's start off with the basics, which is getting this thing on. But before we get anywhere near that lot, let's have a listen to what the sponsors have to say. Well, hey, it's PCBWay. They're a fully featured custom PCB service based in China. It doesn't matter if you're a hobbyist wanting a prototype or a company needing a full-scale rollout. PCBWay have got you covered. PCBWay have a range of services with everything from PCB prototypes, CNCing, 3D printing, and all the way back round again to PCB assembly. If you're not too sure how to bring your wonderful ideas to market, don't worry. PCBWay now have EMS and OEM services, helping you to make sure not only a product is a good product, but a great product. Or, if you're a hobbyist who knows their resistors from their Zeners, or someone who's just learning how to hold a soldering iron, PCBWay have a shared product page where you can either share your PCB designs or have some PCBs made up so you can learn how to solder like the best of them. All this starts from as little as $5 US. Have you noticed that PCBWay is offering a free upgrade from TG130, 140 up to TG150, giving that better PCB? While you're there, why not check out the quick links to creating a PCB? Check out PCBWay today by finding our link in the description down below. So, let's move this out of the way. I realise I still need to get rid of this HDMI cable that I used to have. I need to maybe refind the RF and solder that back in again or something, just to make it look neat again. Let's take that out of the way, stick this on. Now it says pin 1 down at the bottom of here, and then on here you can see a 1. Should we zoom in a little bit? Let's zoom in a little bit. We can't get too far because I can't get this central. As you can see, there's a 1. You can see some writing there. Believe me, it says, in my fantastic eyesight, guile pin 1. So it definitely goes that way. Need to make sure this factory bodge wire is out of the way, which it is. It's plenty of room, because obviously the way that this works, you don't want to squash anything. And you push and push and push, and it flexes the board, and then it will not go down anymore and not make any more noises. I've learnt that from when I was installing that one. And there we go. That's that in. So the LED bit, when I come to do the wires, can go across to the middle bit. If I really wanted to, I could mess about, make a hole in the side of the case and install a reset button. Hardly seems worth it when you only got to do is press Control, Amiga. Right, while we're here, the next one is the RTC, and of course it's got a tear bit, but that tear bit doesn't actually tear where you want it to tear. So pair of scissors, just happen to have a set over here. Get in properly. And that's that. And from what I understand, it wouldn't make sense if it was facing the other way. That's that there. Oh, can't see it, can you? Oh, let's zoom out. You can see actually there, just in the corner. See, dead easy. As I said, there is some drivers that you need to install to get that going. I might not do that today. I'm just really want to get the fancy LEDs installed. So now that that bit's done, I'm gonna go and get the case lid and mess around and change the LEDs over. Oh, and let's be sensible and remove the other RTC, because we don't need that one anymore. Ta-da! So here's the manual. I'm going to email myself on my so can we do it on my desktop? Really, that's simple as that. Okay, according to the manual, there's a diffuser holder and things, but I think things have changed a little bit since these were designed back in 2020. Anyways, you get 4 lots of different types of diffusers, T1 large and small, and T2 large and small. No recommendation on which machine which fits best. I don't particularly want the LEDs sticking out the top too far, as it were, so putting the short diffusers in the top, and I'm also doing it so that the marking, maybe you can see, you see there, you can sort of see a symbol and it says T2S. So I'm having them facing away from me for when I'm using the computer. I don't think you'll really be able to see them, but I'm having them facing away. Oh, and I've sillily, yep, T2S, T2S, and then I've got a T2 large. So just let me find the other one. Found it. Let's say I want them facing away. Then this is supposed to be stop the light from getting everywhere else than where you want it, and basically the rings bit goes downwards. I think the diffuse holder is actually all built into this now instead of the other bit of gadget that they had once upon a time. And then that goes on there. This is really where I could do with the other screw, because now I'm going to be pressing and I don't want it wobbling around, but I don't know where I've lost the screw to. Anyway, mess around the screw that. Okay, found a random screw. Right, now it's the wiring get up. Then basically you can mess around and get more power. To power it, gives it extended mode. It's all getting a bit messy compared to what the other one, which was just plug it in and off you go. So let's figure out more of the cabling and see what's what. I believe this is for the caps lock key. So yeah, okay, according to the manual, you connect this one up. This is like the equivalent to the normal wire. So red wire to the top, we can know this because there's an empty pin, because it's actually 5-pin thing with one of them filled in. So it goes that way. There is only that way of doing it. So that's connected in. And then on the motherboard itself, well, we'll obviously have a look at that when it comes to doing it, but when it's plugged in, you have to make sure that the red wire is to the left. So when you've got all the keyboard set up and everything, you know, the way that you normally use it, it's to the left of when you're connecting it to where you get the LEDs thing from. Now, the other thing it talks about is, while it's in that, you'll just basically get a basic mode, and you don't get to play around with all the fun stuff of having it. So what you actually have to do is connect it up to the clock port, pin 20, using this. So it's nice that we've swapped out the clock port, but this connects to the, when it's this way around and everything, the bottom pin, this one, which is the XVCC. Maybe if your eyesight's fantastic, you can read what it says just there, but it's on the bottom pin, and then pin 20 of the clock port when we put it back in again. So we've got some more things to be doing. I am interested about connecting this up to the caps lock. How that's going to work, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take all this back off again and solder this on, maybe. I don't know. Does it go there? Does it go there? We'll find out in a bit. And I also might split this video into two, because this is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Right, so that's what it looks like fitted. I haven't got the LED sticking through the top. I don't, or the diffusers I should say. I don't particularly want that. All personal choice, blah blah blah. You figure out which one fits you best. What I need to do now is hook it up internally, but also I need to do it while the keyboard's down, so I can get this wire through, and this other wire, which supposedly needs to go to pin 20 on here. Now I originally thought pin 20 would be like, because it says 1 there, and I thought it'd be all the way down here. It's not, because this is a 22 pin section. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down. So you find number 20, and it's roughly there. Don't trust me, count. So 1, bottom left, top left is number 2. Then come down a row and up, and so do that. I'm sure the people that know what they're talking about are going, oh, well, I knew that. Well, good for you, but I didn't. And there's really not an awful lot of information kicking around on the particular pins. So as always, as a noob, doesn't know very much about electronics, trying to figure all this out, it's a bit difficult. Anyway, I definitely want this hooked up to there so that I get more power to this thing, so that it works nicer and use all the functionality of it. But what I'm trying to figure out, and I'll have to do this in a different video, is the caps lock thing. It is for caps lock, the other little bit of wire and everything I saw. I'll do that in a different video. And I also need to figure out how to get the eyed activity light from here into the LED thingy, the Bifrost. Get that in there. So that's probably like a second auxiliary thing. Though I wouldn't mind it just being a normal HD, or the HDD, hard disk activity. But the thing is that the iStray currently, because I haven't flashed it, and from what I'm reading, is that you can now use that again, the built-in one, because currently what I'm on is that all this replaces all that over there. But also, of course, I'd like to be able to pull off the PCM-CIA. Now I don't know if I can just pull it from here now, or that stupidly tiny soldering, which I really don't have the skill to do without frying everything, to get it directly from here. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do about all that. I might have to send the whole thing to someone who's got far better skill at soldering than me. But in the meantime, let's mess around and try to get the power cables in, because I say power cables because there is more than one of them. Okay, after a bit more messing around and figuring out how to program it and everything, I'm going to try to show you a little bit what you can do, but as always it's better to RTFM on how to actually control it. But I just want to show for the people that are interested but aren't going to dish out the money to buy one of these on what you can do with it. This is definitely the caps lock mod. Previously I've changed the green LED for a red one because I had a vampire in here and a little bit of red and black. It all looked woo spooky. But let's turn this back on again. Now to get it going to configuration mode, you press the bottom right, because I say bottom right because actually on each side is a little button, and that gets going for doing different things. Now I'm not going to bore you with every single setting because it's just quicker to go have a look at the manual, which I will put a link to down below. But basically you press the bottom right, that gets you going. The top button on the top right lets you change colors. The middle one will let you change the brightness, and then the bottom one will basically let you come back out of it. Now it is possible to do short presses and long presses, and that allows you to save the state of what you've set up. And of course if you want to change to the different LEDs, you also press the bottom right one. But there's columns and rows on what you're doing, so like the bottom left one will change the column, the bottom right one will change the row, and it'll all make more sense if you've got more than one thing hooked up, so that say like the hard disk one is split into two, so that you've got your PCM-CIA, that sort of thing. Or it might be the floppy disk one. I can't remember which one they recommend you to do at first, but I wouldn't read more of the manual of that to figure that one out when it comes to it. I'm probably going to get that far though eventually, because I do want to get the PCM-CIA thing hooked up, but before I daydream about soldering those very tiny components in, I want to contact them and find out if I can just use the connection off of the PCM-CIA fix that I've got, because that would make my life so much easier. Anyway, this has been sat flashing away. In this light I can't really show you the LEDs. I know it's way over here, but I can't really move the camera to line up better on it, so we're just going to have to look to the right hand side of your screen for now. We've got orange by default for the hard disk. Let me mess around and turn some lights off so that it will show up a bit better on the camera. Alexa, turn the office off.
Okay.
And then I've got the main light I've got to turn off for recording. That should be fine now. So we should get like a bright glow of an orange there. They're just flashing to let you know stuff. So brightness is controlled by the middle one on the right hand side. So I can make it really bright. You can see it's getting kind of annoyingly bright now. Or it'll fade in and out like Knight Rider. It's pulsing. change the speed, or you can just turn the thing off. Kind of like that brightness, so it's the third one up. But if I press the top right itself, I'll start changing the colours. So if I go up too far, I can press the other side and come back down again. So let's get it to a colour that you can tell it's different colours. So there we go, we've got green. If I press the top left one again, I can go back to orange again. So that's how you mess around doing that. And we can copy the colours and we can paste them. So if you decided, like I did on my other one, of where, how can we do this, of where all the LEDs were red, because it didn't really matter to me then. Oh, where's red gone? There's red. I had it that the red was on all four, but it meant setting every single one up. But now I can press the top left and hold it, long press, and I can press the bottom button to go down one. I should be able to long press here as well, and I've copied the colour across, which is very clever. And the brightness up and down, you know, up on the right hand side, down on the left hand side. I've shown that already. And in columns, we can see if I can maybe see there, sort of brighter on the right hand side, brighter in the middle, brighter on the left hand side. And you can mess around changing colours and stuff doing that as well. But what you can also do, which I'm not going to do now, because I don't want to actually save what I've got here, but actually I could do and then just reset the colours. Sorry, I'm babbling to myself. Say that you've gone, oh, the colours, oh, I don't like them. So you can bottom left, so it's flashing away mad now. And basically I should have the default colours. So orange, orange and green. Don't know why it's gone back to green again. Default colours, come on. Maybe it's just showing that I can configure that one from there, but the thing is, what you can do is actually save banks, so you can have a setup, say like, oh, I'm being serious today, I'm going to have all my apps going, I'm not playing any computer games. You could have a setup of colours for that, and then load up a different bank for, that's it, I'm gaming. I'm playing, what would you play? Skid marks, dun dun dun. Something you could play around anyway. The point is though, you can have different ones, or how your mood changes you that particular time of the day, or something like that. You know, maybe at night time you don't want, maybe you want the LEDs to be not so bright, so you could load up a different bank. Maybe that'd be a better choice of doing it. But in the meantime though, I'm going to leave you there with that. So let's turn the lights back on again. Alexa, turn the office light on.
Okay.
And hopefully I haven't made everybody else's.
Would you have to try more than once to get my attention?
I'm sure she likes chatting me up. Stop. Let's turn the main light back on again as well. There we go. The point is, it works. I haven't blown everything up. I'm going to have to try to figure something better out though for that little Class B LED thing. What I might do is build my own little wire, one like this, so that on one side it just clamps onto that tiny little pin, and then on this side it too just clamps on that pin, because that wire thing, I'm a little bit worried about it something boing and off. Either that, we'll have to use some blue tack to stick it down. Yeah, in another video I'm going to solder in the caps lock bit, and well, what else? Try to figure out the PCMCIA thing as well. That's that then for now. As I say, I'll make a video on the rest of it later on. In the meantime, go down to the description, check out the links for the different gadgets. Don't forget to check out the Patreon and the Discord links. And while you're clicking around at things, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget the notification bell. But as always, happy gaming!